All right, I just want to go quickly here because, like I said, look, shout out to you guys that I rock with. Proudly call yourself hate channels. I try not to be a hate channel. I don't want to be a hate channel. I want to be a truth telling channel. I'm out here. I get on these streets because I get on these YouTube streets, and I've always kind of been aspiring to be a media a journalist or sports journalist, stuff like that. And, I never went down the avenues. Then, in my adult life, it seemed like right around the mid 2000s, with the advent of the internet, getting into journalism getting into print journalism at least was not the avenue that it was back in the 90s, with the advent of the internet, social media and everything. So now, here we are, and at this day and age, and, we got YouTube. So, hey, anybody could do it. Come on here. I'm just kicking my stab at it. So I just want to preface that this is not a hate channel. But I will get on some things like that I see. And really, this guy has been so polarizing. I just be remiss not to speak on it. Again, I think this guy's irrelevant and needs to go away. Until the playoffs is over, no more. He shouldn't be doing mind the game. But of course, this guy on his vacation couch, he had to do another mind the game podcast with your boy Steve Nash. Now, Steve Nash gonna wind up catching some strays from the haters because you're with a guy that polarizing. And you're with a guy who LeBron is too media trained to not realize what he's doing. Like, it's very intentional what he's doing. It really is very intentional what he's doing. But it's really intentional the way he comes off. And I think he understands who his fan base is. So he knows that some of these guys will just eat whatever crap spews out of his mouth. And far be it from me not to speak on a situation where LeBron he knows what he's doing, but how could you be this clueless? How can you be this clueless to? He knows what he's doing. See, there's a psychological game that goes on with LeBron and the Lakers. And for his whole career, LeBron, again, as a chosen one and as a guy that they expected to be the next Michael Jordan or to eclipse Michael Jordan one day, comes a lot of pressure with that. I think LeBron kind of, for the most part, wore that pressure pretty well. But then it got to the point where, or maybe it gets to a point. Because, look, the late great Kobe Bryant shot for Michael. He shot to be the guy that replaced Michael Jordan in the pantheon of greatness, or at least try to get in Jordan's aura. And I think he did a great job of it. They can sit there and bring up every little stat they want if it shows that he was maybe great value Jordan or whatever. Kobe was that guy. Kobe was, and I was a guy who never liked Kobe. I never liked him, but I respected the way he went out and competed. And at that point, with that, I'm looking at LeBron from the time for basically 7 years of his career. And really, he played in the league for 6 years. Well, good guy, doesn't get in trouble, terrific player. What's there to hate about this guy? And then he became, and again, this is with social media and everything else. He became more of a personality in the limelight, where you started to realize when he became the face of the league. When Kobe started to got injured, started to decline a little bit. he took the reins from Kobe Bryant, and that's when he revealed a lot of just troubling things to me. Just troubling things. So, as you can see, I mean, anybody that caught it, and there's an 8-second clip that I'm gonna take a screenshot of and use that. Take a screenshot and use that for the thumbnail. Again, I really wish I got the capability of clipping these things up and kind of commentary on it. But I will get to that, so you know what I'm talking about. But generally, LeBron tells Steve Nash, right? He's coping with the fact that they lost in the first round. Now, again, we all know that a lot of LeBron James fanboys, what they do is they sit there and they say, well, to have expectations that when you trade a franchise caliber player in Anthony Davis and you for another franchise caliber player in Luka Doncic, and you've traded pretty much all the draft picks that the Lakers can make over the next until 2031. We're in 2025, fellas. I want you to understand how far out, and I know 5 years because 5 years ago was the pandemic year, but 5 years, 6 years can go pretty fast. 2019, that was the last full year, the last year before Trump's reelection. I mean, think about that, how quickly time can go. But that's still 2031. They have draft picks traded out towards. And you do that for a guy like Luka Doncic. Yes, the expectations is you're going to get out of the first round. The expectation is you're a win now team, especially with you being 40. Remember, when they made the AD trade, he was 33 years old, 34 years old. He was 34 years old. And they made that trade with the promise that they were going to, win 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 championships, at least get to the finals multiple years. They got to the finals in a truncated, COVID season, with the bubble when there were no home games to go to for Laker fans, right? So other than that, you've had 2 years of 2 years of missed playoffs and 3 years of first round exits. Look, I'm in New York, right? I'm in New York. We had a long time of no playoffs. We had a long time, just the feeling of going, just the feeling, just the atmosphere around Madison Square Garden. We sold out Madison Square Garden, sold it out. I mean, not a single seat in the bit with the Knicks and Boston, no players in the arena, and we sold it out. Not only that, had standing room only outside of the Garden to watch the game on jumbotrons, watch parties galore. That level, and again, we've only gotten to the second round 3 times in the Tom Thibodeau era, but that's a lot for Knicks fans. You mean to tell me the bubble, which again everybody was stuck at home because of the pandemic, and the one conference finals run in 2023, and 3 other first round exits, 2 no playoffs in 7 years. Did you think that that's it? Because really, at the end of the day, you got the bubble run, 1, 2, actually, it was 1, 2, 3. No, yeah, so basically 2 other first round exits, 3 first round exits, 1 conference finals. So you got 6 playoff series where the Lakers can actually enjoy. That's the same as the Knicks in the Tom Thibodeau era. And again, I get one, you did get a championship out of one, and a conference finals run is actually, no, wait a minute. The Knicks would have gotten, okay, so 7, we've gotten 7 playoff series. I forgot, I left out the first round loss to Atlanta. So 7 playoff series. Again, you're talking about 2 franchises, one that expects championships, one that is hopeful to get back on the championship after a half a century, right? It's been a half a century since the Knicks won. Right? Me being a Knicks fan, everybody reminds me that like I don't know. So the idea that now all of a sudden LeBron wants to remind everybody, well, there's 10 other guys, or 8 other guys. He said 8 other guys. So basically, there's only 10 people really that were playing. You're not gonna put your son in there. All right, you're not gonna put your son. You're not gonna put the other put the other rookie dog Connect in there. You're not gonna put the guys at the end of the bench that didn't get in the playoffs. But you said there were 8 other guys. So really, what you're saying is the way other guys took the loss. But you're not gonna say, again, when it had you won, it's LeBron delivering. It's not even Luka delivering. See, this is the thing. I think, and I really hope Luka. I mean, again, these players make so much money. Maybe they don't care about that. Maybe that's what it is. Luka's not even American. He goes home in the off season. He goes up to Europe in the off season. He travels. Whatever he does, he travels the world. Again, they got no money to do this. They got the money to do whatever they want, live comfortably, do whatever they want. But if I worked my whole career to get to the league, and this is the Christian Colocos, the Dalton Connects, I mean the Gabe Vincents, the Rui Hachimuras, everybody. And I get, look, living in LA, being a Laker is a flex itself. You can go anywhere in Hollywood and just be loved and get love. Okay, just being a Laker. But the idea that you get thrown under the bus for a guy that if you help him win, you get no credit. No one says anything about the other players on that Lakers team that won the bubble championship. Not even Anthony Davis. Maybe Anthony Davis gets about 10% of the credit. The coach got fired unceremoniously. So they didn't even call him to let him know. He had to find out on television. The guy that coached the team that won the championship, right? But LeBron gets all the credit in the world. But he sits there on television. He sits there on his little podcast. And Steve Nash offers no pushback because, of course, Steve Nash just wants the bag. I get it. He made a lot of money in his career, but whatever. He wants relevancy. He maybe want a head coaching position one day. That LeBron hooked his last podcast partner up. You might want to get back into coaching. At least Steve Nash at this point has coaching experience. Not that it was not that he did a great job coaching the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie. They pretty much brought him in as a guy that they could just run all over, who didn't have a spine or a backbone to actually coach the team. Same thing with J.J. Redick. Let's keep it real. This is the remnants of player empowerment. And so, again, I didn't want to go long on this. I'm already at 12 minutes. But the fact that LeBron just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. Like, this is and again, because I think he gets it, but he knows his fan base is this goddamn dumb. He knows his fan base, his fanboys are this damn dumb. They'll eat right out of it. And now all of a sudden he got teammates. When he wins, his teammates ain't do shit. And that's the thing, man. If I'm a Laker fan, I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling the guy that comes in and gets all the credit for everything. I can't, there's no player I can get attached to. There's no coach that I can get attached to. There's no philosophy I can get attached to because everything is done for and through this guy. He's now 40, going on 41, still gonna play because as long as he can get, when he gets his second son, somehow gets on the Lakers, and I think the Lakers will be really dumb to draft Bryce after next year's draft. Come on, it's not even this year's draft. It will be next year, the 2026 draft, where they would take a Bryce. No, look, you don't have to draft him. He's not going to get drafted. He's not good enough. He's not like he plays. He does not have the foot speed that Bronny does. Bronny is at least has the athletic. I think Bryce has the game. Problem is he has the game of a small forward, power forward, and yet he's not small forward, power forward size. But Bronny has the athleticism. Bryce is not exactly non-athletic. He can jump in, but I don't think he's as quick. I don't think he's not really a guard. I don't think Bronny's a guard either. Well, look, I will, I don't want to get on the kids, but the only reason I bring them up is because I think Bron will stay there to get it to play with his other son. So now he can say, not only did I play with one son, I played with both my sons on the Lakers. That's what look, if they're not there to win championships, yeah, had they won, had they got to the finals, had they got to the conference finals again, LeBron would have had all the credit. It would have been nothing on teammates. But now he's saying at age 40, 22 years in, he's recognizing the fact that he has teammates. Ain't that something? Jordan never, even when he had bad teams, he never sat there and threw teammates under the bus or not acknowledged the fact that he had teammates helping him to win or lose. and not blame again. Didn't take the blame when he took the blame when they lost. He didn't put the blame on them. Him as a star, you LeBron and Luka as the stars. You know you're gonna get all the credit. Just like the quarterback is gonna get all the credit. You ain't got a lot of people blocking for him and all that. Boy, LeBron James, bro. LeBron James, you're too old. You're about to be a grandfather in a few years. You know, you're a few years away from being a grandfather. You might have LeBron James the third coming out. You know, coming out of a daughter-in-law. It's time. Well, you know, it's time to get it to grow up and get a clue, bro. To grow up and get a clue. No one wants to hear that in 22 years you finally realize that you have teammates. And you only have teammates because your team didn't live up to expectations. That's just the sad part. People might think I'm going crazy. I'm nitpicking, going crazy. No, we all see this. There's those of us that see this, and there's those of you fanboys who just don't get it, man. So look, I'm gonna end this because I had to address it, but this ain't like this is much more interesting basketball to talk about. Peace, guys.